Thanks for tuning in. I see you're passionate about your future, so we're going to dive right into it. So in today's video, I will be covering my first setups of Q1 2023. So happy New Year's, by the way. Obviously, right after the holidays, a new year, a new month. On top of all of that, it's also NFP week. So the first week of Jan has been tough, and you might have found it difficult to find a true setup. I just want to let you know you are not alone. There has been a lot of fake outs. There has been zones created, but price never comes back to them, or price will come back to the zone and just totally disrespects the zone, never throws you in. And again, what I believe is the worst thing is a fake out. So why not back test with me and go over my first two setups of Q1? That way we can be ready for next week when the market should be in a better position, moving a lot better, throwing more clear setups, and we can be ready to catch those moves. So here we have Eurogbp on the 15-minute time frame. Of course, you know I love to look for my setup and my strategy on the 15-minute time frame first. So when I came to my market in my session, I saw that we were kind of on this uptrend a little bit, right? Breaking structure to the upside as well. And what we also see here is a 15-minute demand pushing price to the upside as well. So, you know, we mark up our supply and demand with our zones. So we can mark up our first demand. So at this point, we know we have a gap in the market, and we're waiting on price to come back and fill this gap to let more traders in to the upside. And also on the pro tip, I see that we have another 15-minute demand set up right here that also just hit and moved price to the upside as well. So this setup, I was very confident about. I was really confident about this setup. I was like, hey, if price comes back to my demand, I'm definitely taking this setup to the upside. We do have some resistance as well, but I'll let you know right now that's not necessarily what we're worried about. So we're going to focus on our demand. So let's watch price and see exactly what it wants to do. Okay, it's breaking to the downside. We can pause right here. So in some of my previous videos, you know, in my setups, I love when this exhaustion candle happens to our key area, which is our demand. This exhaustion candle, this big red candle, is letting us know, hey, price has been going for a second and it's exhausted. It's weak right now. It's going straight to our key area, letting us know it wants to put more traders into the setup. And also a plus on a pro tip, what this exhaustion candle is telling us is that, or what it's doing rather, is scaring a lot of traders. So a lot of traders that were in this demand that pushed this up to the upside and kind of created this uptrend, broke price to the upside, or some people that's just in this uptrend is getting out because of this big red candle, right? They're getting scared down here. They're closing their positions, taking their profits. They're getting out, which in turn gives us momentum to the upside because we're buying in our key area right here. We're understanding that this is a key area. So we're not scared of this candle. We love this candle. So I'm even more confident at this point. And I'm like, hey, as soon as I see what I need to see and I get my confluence, I'm getting into this trade to the upside. And I'm at least going to take it to somewhere in this area. I could take it to the resistance, most likely a 1-to-1, because I'm understanding that it's NFP week, like I said, and all those other factors too. So I'm not going to be greedy, but I know that I'm in on the setup for sure. So at this point, you know that we love to go to our 5-minute time frame and get our sniper entry. So at this point, we know that we want to buy to the upside because of our demand. So we're waiting and we're looking for the break of the candle to the upside. So we're not getting in as soon as it touches our zone, because that's getting in aggressive. I don't do that. I need more confluence on top of confluence. So I do not get in aggressive right here, because it could easily, like I said earlier, go and destroy, disrespect this zone, and you're going to lose big and lose quick. It's going to hurt. So I'll wait for the break of the candle. So we're going to watch price here and see exactly what it wants to do. And that and see, this is exactly what I mean right here. Let's get this out the way. This is what I mean, right? If you get in aggressive right on our zone, this next big red candle is definitely touching your stop loss, because I'm telling you, and that's quick. And you're going to be mad because you might get a break of the candle and then it go to the upside. So I just wait for the break of the candle as a confluence. So as you see, we get that break of the candle here to the upside. This red candle was our previous candle. This green candle printed and broke above that red candle, right? So now it's breaking to the upside. So at this point, I'm in the setup. I have my stop loss somewhere around this area. We know to always give our stop loss a little room. Again, if you need to go back to my stop loss placement video, we never want to hug our previous candle. Just give it a little room, not a whole bunch, not a mandatory pip count or amount, just a little breathing room. So we're into the setup right here at the break, this gray line. As soon as it breaks above our previous candle to the upside, since we're buying on our demand, that's exactly where we enter. We mark up our 1-to-1. Boom. So at this point, I'm very confident in the setup, and I came deep in our key area, got everybody in. We get a great push to the upside, a nice break. I'm in the setup, and at this point, I'm just waiting to see what price wants to do. But I'm very confident. I'm knowing, hey, this should be a winner. At least that's what I'm thinking. And I'll just let price play out for you here. So at this moment, we were in a little bit of profit, and then we get this little doji inverted hammer, and we get a break to the downside. At this point, I'm a little worried and I'm a little concerned. I didn't give up on my setup yet or pull my losses early or anything like that, but I am concerned, and I'm understanding, okay, it's going to be a battle to get to TP1 or even to get some structure broken to the upside, because this is just a formation we don't really want to see right at our entry. That's something that it's looking like it wants to break to the downside, right? If we know market structure and price action, this is not something we want to see right at our entry. But we can zoom out to our 15-minute time frame as well. And also, you know what I like to do is mark up the break of their candle. So it's look like it's going to be this candle. And then we can also mark up their 1-to-1. So their stop loss is 6.4. So their 1-to-1 is going to be somewhere in this area. And this just lets you know where the price can fluctuate from as soon as the 15-minute people get in. But they're not in yet because they didn't have the break of the candle. We did on the 5-minute because we're on a sniper entry. But on the 15-minute, this red candle will have to break this green candle for the 15-minute to get in. But now the next candle will have to break this red candle, which is where I have to go line for the 15-minute people to get in on their 15-minute setup. So if we zoom back in here to our 5-minute time frame, we'll see that the 15-minute people just got in and it's already in some drawdown, right? So we're all losing at this point, and I just let price continue to play out. Boom. I mean, that's all she wrote. We can forget about all our analysis and everything. I'll leave the RR up there just so you can see how quickly it destroyed us. I mean, all red candles. I mean, we tried to fight. You see some wicks to the upside a little bit. Buyers tried to fight it to the upside, but at the end of the day, price just came and totally disrespected our zone, and not only disrespected, but threw us in and disrespected, and we lost. So an absolute fake out. So hey, that happens, you know, that happens all the time. Not all the time, but you lose. You know, you lose. And the thing about losing is you have to have the professional trader's mentality to, when you see the next trade, to not have that previous setup on your mind. You have to get into the next setup with confidence. You have to stay in that zone. You can't let this loss mess up your whole trading sesh, right? So let's get to our next setup and we can go over that one really quickly. This is our second setup. We have Ucad on the 15-minute time frame, of course. Again, this is Jan 3rd. This is the last setup I had took on that day, and this is the last setup I've taken the whole first week of Jan, because it's NFP week, so I won't be trading tomorrow. I am going to hit the market next week, of course, see what the news say and see what day I'm gonna get in, but I will be trading next week, like hard. I come to our session and we could go ahead and mark up this really aggressive supply. This is obviously aggressive selling. It broke some of this support, some of this structure right here, right to the downside. So we definitely want to mark up, and it created a 15-minute supply. So we definitely want to mark up our supply and know exactly where that is in the market. So we have our supply, and we also have a little bit of resistance now. That price is underneath. We have some resistance. So those are our only key areas that we do have. So at this point, we knowing that price could come to our resistance and throw us in to the downside, or it can come deeper and disrespect resistance and respect supply and throw us into the downside. So again, we're just letting price choose. We don't choose the key area. We let price choose the key area. But when I saw this setup forming, I was a little biased that we were heading to the downside, and I was pretty confident that if price came to our supply, that I was definitely taking it. And I was also knowing I will take the resistance play as well. But of course, you know me, it's resistance, so I'm risking a little less. So I'll let price play out here for you. Right? So I will pause right here. So one thing about support and resistance, or supply and demand too, really any key area, what you would like to see is price slowing down, which you see these little baby candles, right, going each way, wicking both ways, and then it finally touches our key area. So price is slowing down at our key area, or exhausting at our key area, where they know traders are about to get in and go to the downside because price is exhausted. So when price is exhausted, it will fall. So I'm loving that I'm seeing these candles slow down, and we finally get this kind of inverted hammer, almost perfect touch on our key area, just a little wick, and it rejects quick. So I love this, and I knew if price broke below that I would be getting in. So I will let price play out here. So we know that we're going to the downside. So as soon as this candle broke the low of its previous candle, was a confluence in my signal to get in for the sale. So at this point, we are in the setup. The candle broke right there. Stop loss up here, a little bit of room, and then we get our 1-to-1. But as I'm getting my 1-to-1 and marking up my 1-to-1, I zoom out and I see this major gap in the market. And also what we have with the major gap in the market is a 15-minute demand zone. So with that being said, I'm knowing that price might want to come and fill in this huge gap and head to our demand zone. Not saying I'm a hold all the way to our demand zone, but I know exactly where it wants to head. And I had a bias that it wants to go down anyway. We're in the setup. So at this point, we're just waiting and seeing what price wants to do. We know I'm risking a little less on that first entry, not my standard lot, because price might want to return, and we could lose because price might want to come to this supply still, and then it hits our stop loss, obviously. So we have to be worried about that. When zones are close, it might throw you in, but want to go respect the other price, which in turn will make you lose your initial trade. So I'm risking a little less, going to see what price wants to do. We know I'm adding positions as it goes in my favor. So right now, as soon as this next red candle broke below the previous red candle, I added another position because it's going in my favor. You see 1-to-1 gets destroyed, and it was such a powerful move that as soon as you move your stop loss to break even, you see it's just, wow, it's just gone. It's gone. And at this point, as it's taking off, I'm zooming out and I'm seeing exactly where it wants to go, which is our demand, right? And this was just such a textbook beautiful move. So this trade went for a whopping 1-to-9, 1-to-10 RR. I shot for liquidity at the bottom here, so I got a 1-to-5, and that was all she wrote. And that's why risk reward, RR, risk management, is definitely important, because I lost on that first setup, but I lost a few pips on that first setup, and obviously this setup made up for that loss and I profited. So at the end of the day, it was a decent trading sesh. So that's all I got for you guys. I had 2 positions on this as it broke in my favor. I don't like to sell too low. So as this red candle broke there, that was my 2 positions, and that was all she wrote. So if you liked what we went over, please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for over 500 plus subscribers. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Definitely got to get something together and think of something to thank you guys, because I cannot say thank you enough. Really appreciate it. Please comment, hit every platform, DM me, hit my Telegram, join the Discord, whatever you need to do to get in contact with me so we can make sure everybody is on page for Q1. And obviously we're ready for next week, because the market should be booming next week. But I'm Mr. Unorthodox. Keep thinking outside the box. Peace out.